our Patient Insights series. Thank you for joining me today. It's really great that you've been able to come along and talk about how coronavirus has affected you and Sebastian, who has got trifunctional protein deficiency, or TFP.
He does, yes.
For those who don't know anything about this condition, could you tell us a little bit about how it affects Sebastian?
It's a very rare condition, first of all. So a very rare genetic metabolic condition. We believe he's probably the only person in the UK with it, as far as I'm aware anyway, so apologies if I've got that wrong. But I think statistically it's less than 100 people in the whole world that have got it, so it's a very rare condition. But basically, we all produce enzymes in our bodies to break down fats in the food, from the food we eat. And Sebastian has, his genes he's got two faulty genes basically that mean his body doesn't produce enough of the enzymes to break down the fats in his food. And basically that means it's long chain fats specifically. His body can break down medium and small chain fats, but most food that we all eat has long chain fats in it, unfortunately. And that's basically the crux of his condition. So he runs out of energy very quickly, because obviously when we break down fats, we store those fats as energy and we can use them as and when we want to. Sebastian can't do that. So he doesn't really have energy reserves. So he does run out of steam quite quickly. If he's running around, he's a typical 20-month-old little boy, so he loves to climb, run, cause chaos wherever he goes. But you see him a lot stopping and sitting down or laying down a lot because he runs out of steam. So you can tell that's his condition kicking in. Even though he wants to play and do lots of things as a normal 20-month-old, his body sometimes just tells him that he needs to just have a rest.
What sort of appointments do you need to attend on a regular basis? And how have these been changed in the wake of coronavirus?
So we have to see, we're under three consultants, three specialisms, so metabolic, cardiology, and then our general paediatrics. We usually see them all in clinics on a regular basis. We also have dietitians, speech and language therapists and things like that, and attend clinics, but at the moment obviously that's all had to stop. And because Sebastian is currently doing very well, they weren't seeing him as often. We were seeing them sort of every few weeks when we first came home. Now it's kind of once every sort of 3 months, 6 months with cardiology at the moment. But it's all done over the phone now, because it's just too risky to obviously go into hospital. Sebastian is shielding, so we all are. So, we're at home.
Yeah. And what's your experience of the telephone conversations that you've had? Do you find them positive, or have you got any?
Yeah, I think because Sebastian's well at the moment, touch wood, it's okay to have it over the phone. I think our last cardiology appointment was when we were told that his heart had come within normal functions. So that has made us obviously feel more confident in that, but it does, I think we're also anxious that can change very quickly. Sebastian's, because of his TFP, his whole health can change very, very quickly. His heart being one of the things that was obviously affected by it. So we want to still, it's not the same, as having an echo on your heart and checking the heart function. Somebody just at the end of the phone saying, well, I'm sure everything's fine. We'll see you when this is all improved. It's still worrying because you're not getting that same the thorough check, I suppose, that you would if you were in clinic.
Yeah. Are you still in contact with all the consultants then?
Yeah, they've all spoken to us completely. Dietitians, we probably speak to them the most because Sebastian's condition is so controlled by his diet. We speak to them sort of at least it's gone from every week to sort of every few weeks to sort of sometimes, if he's doing very well and we're not changing much, maybe once a month. But we speak to them all fairly regularly, and they're all very easy to contact actually, which is good.
And I know you mentioned that Sebastian's shielding. How are you finding that? How are you managed to balance that with Phoebe as well?
Yeah, so we're all shielding. So obviously he's on paper the only one that has to shield. But my own personal sort of view on it, our personal view, myself and my husband's views, I suppose if unless all of us shield, there's kind of no point in shielding him, because, you know, if you're kind of doing that, and fortunately we both have jobs where we can, you know, we're not key workers who still have to go to work. I don't know what we would do if we were to move out, I suppose. But yeah, we're trying to keep routine as much as normal for Phoebe. Trying to, you know, go out on walks to get some fresh air. But is it week 9 or 10 or something? We took Phoebe out of school just a little bit earlier than when the schools closed, just to protect Sebastian before it was all made official. So yeah, it's difficult, obviously, as with any family. We know we're no different than any other family. Just trying to keep it interesting, keep the schooling interesting.
Have you got any concerns about the lockdown being lifted at all?
Yes, I suppose I have. Maybe are we doing it too soon, or are we rushing to get things back to normal? And obviously we will do what we need to do for us as a family, whether or not we're told, you know, schools reopen and everyone can go back. That's probably our main concern, is should we send Phoebe back? And we haven't had any guidance from any of our consultants about that as yet. That would be one of our main, you know, questions to them. Should we send Phoebe back to school because of Sebastian? Sebastian just started nursery not long before the coronavirus hit. So, you know, at what point is it safe to send him back to nursery? Do we wait for a vaccine? I'm thinking probably it's that, you know, we have to probably wait as a family until there's a vaccine, because as I said, if Sebastian gets ill, he can deteriorate very, very rapidly. So yeah, I think maybe it's just having some advice and guidance as to what we should and shouldn't do. But I think our gut feeling is maybe to just stay home, maybe for longer, even if we do reopen.
Yeah.
Difficult for Phoebe if all her school friends go back and she's not back. That's
absolutely
be hard.
Absolutely. I know you mentioned advice. So final question, Emma. If you could give some advice to another family who was shielding and had one child who was shielding and another that wasn't, what would your advice to them be?
I think probably just to make sure they understand why, probably. Phoebe's very, very involved in Sebastian's care. She understands his condition. We don't hide anything from her about that. So she knows why it's important for us all to shield, and, you know, washing hands and all of that. I think that's probably the main bit of advice. And then just trying to keep some normality, I suppose, for them as much as you can. So we do lots of virtual play dates with Phoebe's friends. Like I say, we go for a walk. We're trying to make it almost exciting, and it's good family time that we're all having at the moment, and trying to turn it into a positive.
Yeah.
Possible with a 6-year-old, but yeah, that's probably the main things I would say.
That's really great. Emma, thank you so much for joining me today and for sharing your experiences. It's been really valuable, and it's been great to see the impact that it's had on you guys as a family as well. So thank you.
No problem. Thank you.